Hello, YouTube fans. This is TheSkullKlown. It's about like almost 6:30 in the afternoon. It's 6:28 right now. So I wanna talk about something right now. Oh, today's date is also June 15th, 2024. Just in case if I upload this later or something like that, or you guys see it whenever. So this, I want to talk about. You guys, you can tell from the title. PlayStation 4 is the new Atari 2600. Now, most people are like, what are you talking about? Now, if you don't know the history of the Atari 2600, it is infamy in video games. It is. Let's take a nice little history lesson here. Let's see. Actually, yeah, let's do that right now. Let's see. Let's do this right now. I just want to make sure if I'm getting my dates right. I don't want to fumble here or anything like that. So, might as well do it right now. You know, while I'm making this video, I could talk about it. Oh well, while I'm writing this down, I could talk about it. Sorry about that. So, the Atari 2600, the lifespan of the Atari 2600 started. This system came out in 1976, 77. I'm almost 7 years old when this console came out. 1977. And when did it end? Most people like maybe the 80s, because Nintendo, Sega, and all that. No, not the 80s. No, the 90s, baby. 1992. From the 70s, 80s, and 90s, this system lasted 3 generations of decades of gaming. And most people are like, well, the graphics on the Atari are not like what you see in the Super Nintendo or the regular Nintendo system, or even the Sega systems that were out around that time. What gives? It's because the Atari 2600 is the best system of all time. It's the grandfather of systems. Yes, the graphics might not hold up today, but if people look back and play those games on the Atari 2600, you will find classics. Classics up the ass. Seriously. One of the best video games of all time that inspired Legend of Zelda was Adventure. That's like one of the best adventure games of all time. It is the adventure game. And we had some pretty good movie adaptation games too. We had Raiders of the Lost Ark. I know some people complain about E.T., but E.T., this has been the misconception. E.T. and Pac-Man for the Atari 2600 destroyed the Atari. No, it wasn't. It was Atari that destroyed the Atari, which makes sense, right? So, even when you played those games, they were not even bad either. Maybe they could have been fizzled out a little bit. Maybe they could have took more time with it to make it more better, more not feasible, but more like not glitchy as much, basically, if there was more time put into it. But the time that it was put into it, you actually got a functioning game that can actually work. And I know a lot of people might not like Pac-Man on the Atari 2600, but I reviewed that game before. And I'm over here like, that's a bad game. How can you fuck up Pac-Man? It's impossible to fuck up Pac-Man, you know? So I don't think the Atari 2600 version of Pac-Man is bad. I think it's probably one of the best versions. Most people are like, are you serious? Yes. All that flickering of the ghosts just makes it harder for me, harder for the player. And you could say it's a glitch, but you know what? I like to call it a difficulty curve. Why not? Sometimes video games, they do things that you don't want them to do, but they do it anyways. Why? Because they want to be what they want to be. Have you ever thought about that? Has any game developer out here has ever thought of when they're making a game, then something happens and automatically the game is actually making itself and you're not making it? It's like the old saying goes when Nostalgia Critic was talking to when Doug Walker was talking to Nostalgia Critic, basically. It, Nostalgia Critic was like, tell me what to do. And Doug is telling Nostalgia Critic like, you tell me what to write. It's the same shit. I feel the same way with my video game. I'm making my video game on RPG Maker Fez, and I'm over here like, tell me what you want, because every time I try to do something, it fails, and you don't want to do it. So what is it? What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Tell me what you want me to do. And that's how a lot of these games work. Some of our favorite games of all time speaks to the viewer because it actually speak to the developers when they were making it. They'll be like, oh, it's not this? Okay, maybe this. Oh, okay. See, they're actually talking with the game. They're actually communicating with the game to see what could work and what not work. And maybe it could work later on. You just haven't figured it out. It's just for that version of that game, it's like, oh, you're going to do something else. That's why I like to point out that sometimes video games are kind of conscious, but I know a lot of people don't like to think about that. But hey, if Japan can look at a mirror and they'll be like, if that's 1,000 years old or 100 years old, yeah, it has a consciousness. And yet people would be like, oh, that's their culture. But yet if I say it, I'm stupid and crazy and I should get fucking pills. But if I say it in Japan, everyone will fucking be like, yeah, dude, yeah. Because they know what the fuck they're talking about. They know what's up in the world. America's just fucking blind. But back to the Atari, which makes sense, which kind of makes sense too, because people were blind with the Atari 2600, because people looked at the graphics and they wanted the same thing that they see from the arcade, which is kind of funny, because have you seen the Atari games compared to the arcade version? It took you to see Pac-Man and Donkey Kong for you to realize that. This can't be rocket science. You either a fucking dumbass or you're a fucking dumbass for not noticing it. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I don't care if you're the consumer. I don't care if you're making these games. You got to call a spade a spade. Oh, no one didn't thought about it around that time and no one didn't think about it. Well, that's sad. That's fucking sad. So going back, the reason the Atari lasted this long is because when Atari itself, when the company itself made another system, they didn't adapt with the graphics. They kind of did when the Atari 7800 came out, when it finally came out. All those games that you knew and loved from the arcade already looked like something that you see from the arcade. But there was no reason to get that system. Why? It's because the 7800 was supposed to be, I believe, the competition to the Nintendo console and future Super Nintendo, which is stupid because the Atari people in the company were being cheap. They didn't think that they should push the graphics or update the graphics, basically. I mean, technically they did, like I said, but they didn't expect gaming the way it was going to be, basically. They always hear like, oh, we need to keep up with Nintendo and Sega, we'll be fine. And look what they are now. They could have been still around battling literally right now with Nintendo. We always talk about, you know, was it the console wars, but the console wars died in the 90s, guys. There's no console wars anymore, obviously. That's why when I see YouTube videos saying, when people say the Switch has won the console wars, I'm over here like, there is no console wars. That shit died in the 90s. You dumb shit. Seriously, there is no console war, and it never will be back. Good God, guys. That shit died in the 90s. What about the PS3 era and shit like that? It didn't matter anyways, because once a game goes to every system, what's the point? What's the point? There's no exclusives at that point, and it's dying off now, as it should be. There should not be exclusives anymore. I can't wait to play Mario on my laptop. Well, technically we're doing that right now on our phones, right? So look at that, and Nintendo hates it. Well, guess what, Nintendo? That's your future, bitch. That's your future. So moving on. Sorry, I'm getting stagnated a little bit. Not stagnated, but sidetracked a bit. But hey, sometimes that's what happens. But this video won't be too long. So the Atari 5200 came out. And you can watch the Angry Video Game Nerds video all about it. And he literally pointed out that the reason the system failed is because of the controller. Why did the PS5 fail? It didn't fail. Why did the PS5 fail? Why did the PS5 fail? It didn't fail. Why? I'm telling you why. Stop fucking complaining. I'm telling you why. The reason it failed, and the reason no one's not getting it is because why would you get $100 system, or maybe it's not even, I don't know how much. Hold on, let me see. Let's see. Let's see. If you can spend on a new PlayStation 4 for less than $100, what are you gonna get? Or less than 300 or 500 bucks, what are you gonna get? Stop being an idiot and stop being one of those fucking stupid people that like, I got a PS5, but I can't pay my rent. Dumbass, dumbass, dumbass. Or to make a video and to have a view. And yet these motherfuckers get billions of views. But yet when I fucking talk like this, or when I talk facts, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Go fuck yourself, YouTube. Go fuck yourself. Because you're relying on stupid motherfuckers that are killing your website. Seriously. So, the Atari 5200. Why did it says it right here. Why did the Atari 2600 fail? And its list of the top 25 games consoles of all time, IGN claims, you know how I feel about IGN, but it claims that the main reason the 5200 market failed was the technical superior of its competitors. Yes, it's true. While other sources maintain that the two controllers are brutally, basically, well, it says here that we all know that, all right, some people know that the Atari 5200 failed because of the controller, which is true, but there's more to that too. Like I said before, that's why when they made the Atari 7800, they didn't catch on that they had to make newer games with newer graphics. They didn't. They just kept pumping out the same old games. And it's like, if I had that in the 2600, why would I get that in the 7800? You see? That's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons why those two systems failed. One from the controller, and the other one because they didn't market the system in a way that they should be competing to the other systems at that time. Now, the reason the PS5 failed, again, going back, is because it was too much money. I don't have a PS5. You can argue with me and disagree with me all you want, but there is no denying Sony itself is already saying, well, the PlayStation 5 is in its twilight years. Sony is saying that PS5 is in its twilight years. And the PS4 is still kicking, still alive, like the Atari 2600 did. The 7800 and the 5200 died while the 2600 lived on until 1992. That is fucking amazing. That is exactly what the PS4 is going to do. It probably lasted longer than that. Remember, the Atari 2600 lasted for 3 generations. How long has the PS4 lasted? Let's find out right now. Let's find out. PS4. Do that. It came out in 2013. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 10, 11, 12. 12 years. More than Atari 2600. And it's not dying right now. The PlayStation 4 is not dying. Sony might want to get rid of it. Sony might want to be like, oh no, we got to move on and shit like that. The gamers haven't. The people that are developing for these games, for these consoles, haven't. There's still games coming out for the PS4 and the other systems too. And yet you see Sony with their PS5s being like, well, it's about to be in its twilight years because people are ready for the PS6. What? What? When the console first came out, you weren't even talking about the PlayStation 6. That's one of the reasons why I didn't get the console. Because Sony's already here being like, PS5 came out, all right, let's do the PS6. What? What? fuck is wrong with you guys? What the fuck is wrong with you guys? The PS4 has lasted at least 12 years, right? 12 years, 12 years, 12 years. Keep that in mind. 12 years. 12 disciples of Jesus. It came out 12 years ago, and it's still kicking. PS4. The PS5 came out in 2020. It's the same age as my niece. It's 4 years old. Technically, it's still 3 years old because it doesn't turn, because the PS5 doesn't turn 4 years old until November 12 of this year. If you really want to get technical. So it's 3 years. We have been having the PS5 for 3 years, and already Sony's like, yeah, bury it. And the PS4 lasted 12 years. Sony tried to bury it, and PS4 was like, that all you got? Yo, this system, I need to get a new system because it kind of fucked up on me. But this system, there's a reason why people want this system still. I still want the PS4. My system got fucked up. Most people be like, just get a PS5. Why? I could just get a new PS4. And my friend has the PS5, and some of the stuff that the PS4 does, the PS5 doesn't do. You can't have your own picture as a screensaver. The fuck is that? That's stupid as fuck. Even on PlayStation 3, even on the PSP, you could do that. But not on the PS5? Nah, man, nah. Nah, you see? That's how you know Sony's trying to get rid of the things that are fun aspects about these systems, of why we love it, of why we go into it. Yes, it's small, but it's enough. Right? Remember, appreciate the little things. The little things help so much, and it does. So the PlayStation 4 is doing what the Atari 2600 has done, but it's doing it better. The Atari 2600 walked, so the PS4 can fly. Most people are like, when you say run? No, fly. All right? Fly. Because that's what the PS4... hey, I could have said walk, but 12 years the system has been around? Motherfucker, it's not walking, it's flying. It's fucking flying. All right? I think it walked in the beginning. Then when Sony tried to bury it, it rises up from the ashes like a phoenix, and it flew. That's a perfect analogy for the PlayStation 4. If you haven't gotten a PlayStation 4, get it. Get it. Hey, if you're still considering, if you have a PS5 and you're considering, I kind of miss my PS4, get it. Get it. I highly recommend the PS4. Does it have flaws? Oh, fuck yes. I remember making a review of the PS4, and that's my favorite review of all time. Look at that review of my PS4. That's my favorite review of all time that I've ever made about a video game console. And I want to do another review. I had a brain fart right there. I want to do another review about the system because I have more complaints about it. Because Sony's trying to kill their system. Sony's trying to kill their own system so people can actually get the PS5. But it's hard to get the PS5 when it's so expensive, and there's people that do have money that could just get it right off the bat. And you're like, well, what's the fucking point? Might as well stick to my PS4. You know? Sorry about that. But so yeah, that's really it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, guys. Seriously, here's a toast. Here's a toast for 12 years of the PlayStation 4, baby. This system came out in 2013. I got out of high school in 2012. I graduated high school in 2012. And this shit, the PS4 came out in 2013. It's crazy how this system has lasted during the Trump era. And it survived. Yo, for that, this system, remember when I made a video saying that these video game consoles will last for 50 years and shit like that? It looks like my wish is coming true. Hey, you know what? Didn't the PS2 lasted about 12 years? Hold on, let me find that out. Let me pause this for a minute. Okay. The lifespan. Wow, look at that. The lifespan of the PS2 lasted from October 29, 2004 to January 4th, 2013. The same year the PS4 came out. That's crazy. That's crazy, crazy, crazy. That is fucking crazy. Let's see, let's see. What year was that? 2004? Let's see, 2024. Oops. I messed it up right there. Oops, messed it up again. Come on, Geo. The system lasted up to 9 years. So the PS4 lasted longer than the PS2. Um, I think that's how I should end the video because this system's not gonna die. It's not gonna die, and some of us are not gonna let it die. I'm not gonna let it die. I mean, it's lasted 12 years. Let's last 12 more. I'm serious. I mean, if it gets 2 more years or something like that, it's not a bummer. Kind of, I'm not gonna be disappointed. It lasted 12 years, and it's gone through so many bullshit because of this stupid company that we call Sony. The PS4, man, the PS4. Even if video game consoles die, even if that happened, I will look back at the PS4 as one of one of the long lasting systems of all time. Some people might say, "Oh, just because it lasted long doesn't mean it's good" or something like that, and I won't disagree with you. But did you have fun during this era of PS4? I had fun. Yeah, there was some missteps like Kingdom Hearts 3, Final Fantasy 15, but mostly it's kind of my fault. It's mostly Square Enix stuff. Not to say there's not good stuff with Square, but most of the stuff that I was anticipating for all became shit, including Grand Theft Auto 5. Yeah, I mean, Grand Theft Auto 5 is fun and Trevor and Franklin are fun, but everything else, I'm just like, something's missing. But that's another story for another day. I'll see you guys later, and long live the PlayStation 4.